What is up, guys? Dirk here. Happy Saturday. So in today's video, I just want to do a quick update purely on the US stock market, on the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average, because it's looking like we are potentially starting to see more bullishness there. And that, of course, if we get continuation in the stock market due to the correlation for crypto, it is possible that we also see crypto starting to move higher over the coming weeks. So let's dive straight into the content. Before we get started, of course, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe down below. And if you have not yet heard about my Black Friday special offer to join my Intelligent Cryptocurrency VIP membership, it is on right now until midnight on Monday, Cyber Monday, 28 November. Click the link in the description down below. It's the first link. All the details are explained on that page. And basically, it's the last time you will be able to join Intelligent Cryptocurrency VIP at these current prices, because after the special offer is over, the price is going to increase permanently after Cyber Monday. So you have a full 60-day money back guarantee. There's no risk to signing up, but you have to sign up before the offer is over on midnight Cyber Monday if you want to lock in the current low prices. Okay, so let's have a look at the weekly chart. And over the last months, every now and then I do tend to make an update on this, because I think it's important to keep looking at the stock markets for direction, because everything is so correlated to each other. So as long as the stock markets start to go up, or as long as they're not selling off more, I think it reduces any downside pressure on the markets. Now, of course, lately we have had a more isolated event to crypto with, of course, the implosion of starting in May already this year with Terra Luna, and then 3 Hours Capital, and now eventually recently FTX. Of course, those are more crypto isolated events. So even though the stock market has been going up, that contagion within the crypto space has caused that sell-off lately. But as long as we're not getting that continued downside pressure, and actually as long as we're maybe going to get more upside in the stock markets, that could be good for crypto, because once the selling pressure is out of the space, right, out of the crypto space, once this is all out in the open, we've already had the drama now with FTX. We don't know what kind of contagion could still come ahead, but once this is all out in the open and stock markets go up, that could potentially be good for crypto, and at least cause crypto not to sell off even more, and maybe even get it to create a new rally in Bitcoin and in the crypto markets. So looking at the S&P 500 on the weekly chart, I think this is just the simplest way. As I explain it always, the 50 moving average in blue and the 200 in red. On all my charts, I always have it in this way. And quite simply, the rule is if we're above the 200, above the red, then we are in a macro bull market. If we get in above the blue, we are in a full-blown bull market. As you can see, go back on the charts, you can see it right here. That is exactly the case. As long as we're above the 200, we keep going higher over time. As long as we're above the 50, we start to see new all-time highs. Okay, you can see over here, new all-time high, new all-time high, new all-time high, above the 50, new all-time high, new all-time high. So we have had a year of bearish selling here, but it bounced off the 200 so far. And that is potentially a good sign, at least for the bulls right now, because that reduces the chance of us having that 2008 crash scenario, which only comes back in play potentially once we get back below the 200. So as long as we're above here, we still have this option of a continuation of the macro bull market that has been going on since after the 2008 crash. We have basically only been going up, and we are above this 200. Okay, now what we really need to see is we need to get a reclaim of this 50-week moving average for us to start having the potential of going back to the all-time highs, and maybe even setting new all-time highs in the S&P 500, which would probably cause a full-blown mania and risk-on strategy towards the markets once again. Because one thing that we've been seeing also, I'm not going to bring out the charts right here, but if you go and look at the data, there were so many people who were incredibly bearish here, especially retail, buying record numbers of puts, expecting massive crashes. And of course, the logical thing is, based on the data, most retail investors are never right about the direction of the market. So if we get all the retail investors, just regular people and even institutions, thinking we're going to crash and betting on that short side, it's unlikely that we're actually going to crash and get that short side, and we're going to get a pump instead to liquidate all these people who bet on the downside and who are once again incorrect. And then, of course, once they all start piling in towards new all-time highs, that is probably when we get the reversal. I think I've talked about this in a video in the past, but otherwise I've written about it somewhere on social media or in my newsletter or something. Basically, what we tend to see is we tend to see market crashes when the Fed pivots and when they start cutting rates, not really before then. So the Fed has still been raising. They're talking about slowing, but we haven't started seeing rate cuts yet. So if we can start to see rate cuts, people are estimating by the earliest maybe end of Q1, so by March next year or maybe a little bit later. Then we still have some delay after that. So somewhere between middle of 2023 and the end of 2023, it is possible, based on that last theory, obviously we have to wait and see how things play out, that we could see a major crash only then, and that we can actually see more upside for the next 3 or 6 months, and maybe even a little bit longer, and potentially set new all-time highs. That is still completely in play. But what we need to see is, of course, first of all, we need to stay above this 200, because that is key, in my opinion, between bear and bull market. We get below there, things start to look really scary for a 2008 style crash repeat. But as long as we're above there, we're okay. And if we get back above the 50-week moving average with weekly closes above it, then we're potentially looking at a full-on risk-on move to all-time high, or maybe even new all-time highs. So that is going to be important to see what happens next week. Are we going to get back above there or not? Now, switching over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and this is an interesting relationship between the two, because what I notice, what I tend to see is that the Dow Jones Industrial Average tends to be a little bit ahead of what the S&P 500 does, which means that it actually went a little bit lower and a little bit sooner down and closed below the 200 here. This ended up being a fake out, and we rallied back above, and you can see it was first to get back below that 200, but it is also first to get back above the 50. So the S&P 500 that I just showed you is not yet above the 50, but the Dow Jones Industrial Average now has already had 3 weekly closes back above that, and you can see, in fact, it is also setting new highs compared to this, which technically is a good thing, because a bearish trend means lower highs. Okay, every time it makes a lower high, lower low. But once we start making new highs again compared to the previous one, technically it means the bearish trend has been broken. Now, we are still in potential fake out rally scenario. That's why I say I want to see it on the S&P 500 too. Can't get too happy just yet. But if we also get that reclaim of the 50 on the S&P 500, then I think things start to look really interesting, and potentially setting up for a run to new all-time highs, both in the Dow Jones and in the S&P 500, if we can get that. So that will be very interesting to keep an eye on, because if we get this major risk on mode in the stock markets, probably also means the dollar index is going to come down further, which both the dollar index going down and the stock markets going up is going to create bullish pressure for crypto. And as long as we don't have any more isolated major blowups within the crypto space, no more exchanges blowing up, no more major fund liquidations or anything like that, assuming that is all out the way, then it is likely we can also start to see potentially the start of a major run in the crypto markets. Now, it might not be a completely new bull market or anything like that. Okay, maybe we just get this crazy bear market rally like we saw in 2019, where you can see within the bear market over here, this is a Bitcoin chart, within the bear market, we had this rally that went from about 3,000 to 13,000. So it was a nice big rally. Obviously, it came back down again, but that is something that I think is possible also in this environment. So if we do get in the next 6 months or so, we get a nice rally, and perhaps maybe Bitcoin goes back to 30,000 or into the 30,000s in the next 6 months or so, I do think that's a possibility. Maybe it comes back down again afterwards if that scenario plays out where I said, you know, when the Fed pivots, then we see a market crash. So maybe we're going to see something like that. Maybe we're going to see a rally into the 30,000s in the next 6 months or so, then have it come back down again and test below 20,000, and then the next real bull market in crypto maybe only starts sometime in middle to end 2024 if the cycle does end up repeating. So let's have a look at the dollar index, because that is of course also very, very important, because when we get a multi-month downtrend in the dollar index, that is when both the previous crypto bull markets were in full effect. You can see over here in 2017 and in 2020. So what we need to see is we need to see the dollar index come all the way back down. And right now, while we have seen this correction, right, this is our entire bear market here in crypto and stocks, as the dollar index started moving up, it has come back down, but we are not yet in confirmation of a multi-month downtrend, which only happens really when we get closes below the 50-week moving average. As you can see over here, that is when we get that confirmation and likely an extension of that trend for the next months. You can see over here, this happened in May 2017. And as we know, the crypto markets and Bitcoin peaked in December, right? So we had a nice about 6 or 7 month rally after we got that confirmation. And that is, of course, the bulk of the exponential gains in the crypto market. Same thing over here. We got that confirmation in about June of 2020. And as you know, the markets peaked, or Bitcoin really peaked, most markets in May of 2021. And Bitcoin, again, had a slightly higher high in November of 2021. So here in the last bull market, when we got that confirmation of the dollar index, we got a almost 12 to 18 month run in crypto with massive exponential gains. If you'd gotten into crypto in June 2020, you know the gains would have been absolutely phenomenal by May of 2021. So we are now in the situation where we're approaching this 50, but we haven't gotten below it. So we can't get too happy just yet. We need a close below it, ideally 2 weekly closes below it, to see if we can get some confirmation. Right now, it could still be just a pullback, and if it then continues higher, then of course that would be bad for all the markets in general, because then as that continues going higher, we tend to see sell-offs in the stock market and in crypto. So let us hope that we actually do get back below this 50-week moving average, and that we start a new multi-month downtrend in the dollar index, because that is likely to create another major bull market in both stocks and in the crypto markets. But until then, keep an eye out. You can see obviously also it's a horizontal level over here, which it broke above double top over here. If it bounces over here in combination with that 50, of course that would not be good. We want to see it break below that and then start the trend all the way down, and ideally take out these lows also. So over the next 1 to 2 years, start this long downtrend similar to over here on the left what we saw. If we can get that, it's going to be fantastic for upside in crypto and stocks, most likely, based on what has happened in the past. So set some alerts on the dollar index, keep an eye on that. That's going to be very, very key. If we get closes below this 50-week moving average, things start to look a lot more bullish potentially for both crypto and the stock markets. So hopefully you enjoyed this update. I like to do these kind of updates on a Saturday or on a Sunday, because it means the US stock market has already closed, and it's easy to give those weekly candle closes on the updates. And then during the week, we can look at crypto updates. So on Monday, I will do another update after we got the weekly close for Bitcoin and other coins. I will do another weekly update with targets and levels on crypto on Monday. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel down below. If you like this kind of content and you find it helpful and valuable, please smash the like button. It helps the video go out to more people. Leave a comment down below. What do you think is going to happen? Do you have any questions? Do you have any predictions? Feel free to drop them in the comments. And like I've said, there's about 3 days left right now to take advantage of my Black Friday special offer. This disappears this coming Monday, Cyber Monday, November 28th at midnight Eastern time. After that, I will be increasing the prices permanently to join my Intelligent Cryptocurrency membership. So right now is the best chance to get in, to get access to all the education, the training, the updates, my own trade movements. Join the Discord group with more than 1,500 investors and traders from around the world. Be able to ask questions, get support. Quite literally, in my opinion, it is the best place to be if you do anything with crypto. It's just a no-brainer, especially at the current prices that I'm still offering before they increase after Cyber Monday. So click the first link in the description down below. Everything is explained. You can sign up there. It is risk-free because you have a full 60-day money-back guarantee. So if any reason whatsoever within the first 60 days you want your money back, you simply email support and you get a full refund. No strings attached, no hoops to jump through. But you have to sign up before the offer disappears, or otherwise you're going to have to end up paying the new prices, which is going to be virtually double the price that it currently is. So right now is the best deal to get in. Click the first link in the description down below. Check out what I have available, sign up, and that way you lock in the cheapest price for Intelligent Cryptocurrency VIP.